81,000 watch on anxiously. To win the wildcard after the final siren, he's missed. Heartwarming, heartbreaking. What a game of football.
That's all, folks.
Fucking bullshit!
Let's do it, guys. This is the wildcard round review. Collingwood's 3-point loss to the Western Bulldogs, 14-9-93 to the Western Bulldogs, 14-12-96. 3-point loss. Tim Membry set shot after the siren missing, and that's it. That's Collingwood's season done. What a weird feeling. Heartbreaking loss. That's a certainty right there. We've just unlocked another heartbreaking season-ending defeat right there. And it's a wildcard round exit. It's now 9th v 8th, and that's pretty much how it panned out between Collingwood and the Bulldogs. The funny thing is, the Hawthorn draws 93 each, 92 each. Bulldogs lost earlier this year, 97-93. This was 96-92 up until the siren, and then Tim Membry misses that set shot. So two almost identical carbon copy results and how it played out during the game. We were chasing tail against the Bulldogs for the entire game. We got in front late, and then the Bulldogs, with a bullshit centre clearance, getting back in front. That's how the game panned out. The Bulldogs were a far better side. Sorry. I had a mate just give me advice when I do these reviews to just go back and watch the KO minis and just re-jog your memory of the game. Even if you went to the game or we lost or we got thumped or you took notes or whatever, just watch the mini, re-jog your memory, and then it'll come out, some extra thoughts on the game. I watched the mini of this game and I feel 10 times worse. And I still don't know how I'm going to pan out this review. I am recording this on a Saturday morning. I've only had like 4 or 5 hours sleep, and I'm sure you've all seen the news. Scott Pendlebury expected to go to Gold Coast for a coaching / pay or playing or pay. Pays to be upset. Can't even speak. It comes in threes at the moment. Just a shit week. Zach Butters doesn't nominate a club, but tells Collingwood to piss off. We lose to the Bulldogs after the siren, and Scott Pendlebury is off to Gold Coast. Still side bottom, retiring 375 AFL games. I posted the YouTube short, the Still Side Bottom Evolution, on my Instagram as well. The best sort of tributes I can make for these sort of players. And I'll do one for Scott Pendlebury for his time at Collingwood, pretty much similar to SP433. I will talk more about Pendlebury in a future video, possibly tomorrow, just looking at Collingwood's list changes and what we need to do. And I guess this is not the time to talk about Pendlebury, I reckon. There's a lot more factors talking about this season in general, this game itself. I'm seeing a few angry reactions on Pendlebury, and I don't disagree with it. But for me, I'm more team first. I think it's time to move on. And with Sidebottom retiring, Jeremy Howe announced he'll be extending for 1 more year. So we've got some sort of experience there. Pendlebury not retiring. He was supposed to retire, damn it. But going to the Gold Coast, it's going to be a Sam Mitchell West Coast sort of thing. Play 1 season, then do your assistant coaching apprenticeship there for a few years, and then come back to Victoria and hopefully coach Collingwood. Unless Craig McRae wins a few more flags, then Pendlebury can coach elsewhere. But I'll talk about that in a future video. This is the wildcard round review. It's still going to be a half video, talking about the game itself, but also just our season in general. But this game was pretty much symbolic of Collingwood's season. We were trailing the majority of it. Second half of it, we got ourselves in a good position, and then it just tapered off at certain key moments later in the season, late in this game, and a Tim Membry set shot miss. The 4th time this year we've been involved with a set shot after the siren. Taylor Byrne missing after the siren for Collingwood to win. Dylan Moore picking a set shot to draw the game. Dylan Moore picking a set shot, failing to get the distance. Sam Swaddling, hand of God stuff. And Tim Membry missing right side of the goals. And that is that. That is absolutely that. I'm not too disappointed. Now, if we lost to Carlton in this way, I don't think I'm making this review on a Saturday morning. I don't even think I'd even do this review. I would be absolutely distraught. I'm still heartbroken, but not as heartbroken. Perspective, it could have been worse. It could have been Carlton. We could have finished 7th and lost to 10th in this sort of manner. The Dogs, I don't really care about. They're one of the good sides, in my opinion, just their fan base, their players, how they go about things, and just yeah, I don't have an issue with the Bulldogs. Any other team, depending on it, then yeah, I'd be distraught, sad, heartbroken, fuming, you name it. A lot of questions, a lot of thoughts from this game, and yeah, it's a new feeling. We've unlocked this sort of heartbreak. Speaking to Dad this morning, just trying to put it into perspective, but this is the season for us. 3 wins against top 10 teams. 2 of those wins were against Carlton, who weren't in the top 10 when we faced them. And one was against Adelaide over there. That's the only thing we can put our hat on. And this season as well, we find one positive, we can find an equal negative. We find a negative, we can find an equal positive. It was proper mid table stuff. And the off season is going to shape and determine the next 3 to 5 years for us and what we do. We have to be active in this upcoming off season, the trade period. I'm not talking Lockie Neal, Stringer, Hogan as the listed or unrestricted free agents. We need to make moves. We need to make bold plays. And it's over to you, Justin Leppage. This game, this review, again, watching the KO mini, I just feel 10 times worse being at the game. And you could tell, maybe not so much on the replay, but at the game, the Bulldogs defensively working their absolute backsides off to set up defensively. Collingwood struggling to get proper ball movement, their proper attacking game. Disposal efficiency in the first quarter was woeful, particularly for Collingwood. Handballing, kicking, the whole thing, the whole shalong of our ball use was poor. Surprisingly, the Bulldogs, or we were even pretty much at quarter time. Half time, though, the Bulldogs in the second quarter in particular just dominated. They could have been up by a whole lot more, up as much as 21 points late third quarter, clawed our way back to within 2 goals. And yeah, you can't fault Collingwood's fight and endeavour to stay in the hunt in the game and trying to sneak a bullshit win from nowhere. But I take 2022, 2023, and some elements of last year in 2024 for granted for the close wins. But the Bulldogs were a much better side here, a lot cleaner. I'd say better intent. I wouldn't say more efficient, but their intent was better. They knew how to get the job done. And for some bloody reason, similar to the loss against them earlier this year, trailing, chasing tail, we just couldn't get in front. Now, we got in front this time, and then straight away the Bulldogs get the quick response. 5 or 6 goals from centre clearances. Yeah, any positives we could find, a negative was straight afterwards. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Yeah, it's frustrating. The Dogs, we know what to expect from them. Hunger, fight, determination. It was there. Sometimes their efficiency and their connection can go to the wayside. That's what we tried to make them pay in, and we just couldn't do it for the entire game. They set up better defensively. They were quicker on transition, better intent. The centre clearances they destroyed us in. Clearances overall, the midfield game they dominated us in. It was not so much Bontempelli per se and Richards. It was the Matt Kennedys, the Joel Frasers, Riley West at times, and Arthur Jones kicks 4 goals up forward. Aaron Norton with a knee injury last week. That's bullshit. Kicks 4 goals here. Tim English, miraculous recovery from an MCL. You'd think that's season ending. No. Comes back in and dominates. So that's what we had to deal with. Ryan Gardner, basically used as a sub, comes on halfway through the third quarter, has an immediate impact. Yeah, just little things like that. And for us, we had certain players who just couldn't fire in this game, either solid or decent games, but we needed more from them. If we got more from them, we would have won. And I'm not going to blame the injuries or team selections here. It's just with the best 23 we had, with the determination we had. I'm not disputing any fight and determination from anyone in this game. Certain moments for sure, but just overall performances in this game. 15 disposals from De Goey and a goal. Expect a little bit more, particularly for someone who plays well in September or August, pretty much. Jack Crisp, just no penetration. He's kicking for the first 3 quarters. Side bottom, yeah, it's nice to celebrate his career and pay tribute, but was he really in the best 23 at this point of the season? Certain youngsters, their first finals game, technically, yeah, they didn't have their best games, but they're better for the experience. And I will summarise this game, and more so just the future for us. The Tim Membry set shot miss cannot be our Mick McGuan 1994 drop mark against the West Coast Eagles. We didn't make finals for another 8 years from that drop mark or a simple opportunity to win the game or cause an upset over them. But this time around, 2026, Tim Membry misses that set shot. We can't be mid-table or worse for the next 3 to 5 years. We need to make moves in this upcoming off-season, not just the unrestricted or delisted free agents. We need to make bold plays look at our best 23. Certain players, are they clogging up the list? Can we move them on to another club who would be of better use for that player? And can we bring in certain players that provide value to us? Now, I'll just bring up the stats for this game. The full-time team stats here, minus 27 for disposals, minus 11 for contested possessions. Now, we were plus 11 at quarter time for contested possessions. And then in the second quarter, Dogs plus 13. So we were minus 13 in the second quarter for contested possessions, plus 5 for hitouts. But from my eyes, Tim English, the better ruckman. Darcy Cameron did what he can around the ground, but against Tim English, not a bogey opponent, but just Tim English. He played well against us earlier this year, then went or tapered off or just got injured. Yeah, comes back in, plays well, and I wouldn't be surprised if Tim English has a bad game next week. Minus 19 for clearances. Goes to show Lockie Neal is a much needed player. He is not someone we need to prioritise per se, more so the Tom Mitchell sort of recruit where it's a cherry on top. It will help our clearance work, but we need a lot more layers in our midfield, whether it's youth, pace, or depth to add in. Please don't bring in Darcy Parish, though. That would just be such a Collingwood move. Minus 10 for centre clearances. The Dogs, 5 or 6 goals from centre clearances. Minus 9 for stoppage clearances. Plus 27 for tackles. It was pretty much even, almost up until half time. So Collingwood tackling to the end. I thought the forward 50 pressure wasn't there compared to previous weeks. Lockie Schultz, Harvey Harris, and Will Hayes. These sort of players just couldn't get into the game compared to the Bulldogs and their small forwards. A point of difference for this game. Minus 14 for marks. I said it in the preview. We needed to not concede as many uncontested marks or uncontested possessions, marks overall, and we've done it here. But in saying that, this was a run and gun sort of game. Not many marks overall, 75 to 89. Dogs just a little bit more cleaner, a lot more cleaner, whatever you want to describe it as. And their intent was better. Minus 4 for marks inside 50. Aaron Norton was on an absolute heater for this game. Pretty much a Mason Cox-esque sort of performance, and not much we could have done. And thank goodness Sam Darcy wasn't playing this game because we would have been absolutely thumped with our back line. Minus 19 for inside 50s. And I think the stats that are going to give me nightmares and whatever, just a bitter pill to swallow, sorry, is the efficiency inside 50 and goal efficiency above 50% for us, above 45% for the Dogs. Disposal efficiency below 70%, though. It was poor for the entire game. Certain culprits I'll talk about in the player stats. Goal efficiency 31% to Collingwood, 21% to the Bulldogs. You should be winning games of footy when your goal efficiency is plus 10% compared to your opposition. What more can you say? It's a heartbreaking end for our season in this wildcard round, and I can't find many positives for this game because I find a positive, there's an equal negative, just like our season. But just with the player stats, I'll start with Sam Swadling, 19 years old, but has 32 disposals, 8 marks, 8 rebound 50s, 6 intercepts, 3 inside 50 entries. He could do it all across half back and heading up the ground. And this is why I can't be too angry on Dan Houston. We can ship him off, but Sam Swadling showing more across half back compared to what Dan Houston has for the last 2 years. The future is sorted. At least that's all sorted. We're not deficient with that sort of rebound 50 work or intercepts or our defensive 50 work. But someone like Dan Houston, who is being outplayed by a youngster in Sam Swadling and even Josh Dacos as well. Yeah, we'll talk about this in the off season and the trade rumors and everything like that. But Swadling, we've got one here, and then he can progress into the midfield in the coming years. Dan McStay, this might be a big call, but I think this was Dan McStay's best game for Collingwood. He kicked 5 goals against Geelong. A lot of those were a few dead rubber goals. I'll throw that out there. But Dan McStay competes well. 47 goals for the season. 4 goals here. 5 contested marks. 12 disposals. 7 marks. Again, 5 of those contested. 8 score involvements. And yeah, cheeky hitouts as well. Dan McStay, tremendous year. I'd be shocked if he wasn't top 3 for the best and fairest this year. Nick Dacos, 30 disposals, 2 goals, 9 score involvements, 4 clearances, 4 inside 50s. And yet I sit here expecting more from Nick Dacos. But Josh Dacos, 26 disposals, 6 rebound 50s, 5 intercepts, 4 clearances, and yet still expecting more. Darcy Cameron, 46 hitouts, 19 disposals, a goal, 5 intercepts, 4 clearances. He's going to look a lot better when Oscar Steen returns. Yeah, plays well around the ground, but one-on-one hitouts and ruck duels and everything involved against Tim English. Yeah, we expected the best from Tim English, and he produced it. Darcy Cameron, we got the best of him. Just certain moments, that kicked the own steel when it wasn't there. Just bomb it long. Dan McStay could have taken a contested mark and go from there, but it is what it is. Now, the last 5 players, it's one of those a lot to be desired sort of things, and I'm sorry to call these players out, but like Lipinski, 24 disposals, 7 score involvements, 4 inside 50s. Yeah, it looks good on paper, but had a good first quarter and a bit, but that calf injury out for 2, 3, or 4 weeks or whatever. You could tell the match fitness wasn't there, wasn't properly involved in terms of the contested possessions and just wanting it more at certain points. Not again 4 inside 50 entries. You'd expect him to be playing in his proper role, just wasn't there. Bo McCreary, 22 disposals, 5 clearances, 7 score involvements, 6 inside 50s. He had a great third quarter. Just if we had his third quarter performance in the final quarter, maybe that gets us over the line. That pace, that injection of speed. Bo McCreary, a full preseason in the midfield, please. Please do not taper off. He's been a lot better since bumping Paul Curtis in that final quarter against North Melbourne. Ever since that moment, his form has turned around. Just what we needed. But the season's over, a full preseason, and hopefully Bo McCreary is unlocked in the midfield. Ed Allen, hack kick, 13 disposals, under 50% disposal efficiency, a lot of clangers. 10 tackles, though, 3 score involvements, 3 inside 50s. If he was playing a run with roll or a tag on Bontempelli or Ed Richards, I didn't notice. And he'll be better for this experience. Hopefully he stays on. Hopefully a full preseason once again in the midfield. And then that's another player we unlock for a long-term prospect in the midfield. Jordan Ngoe, 15 disposals, a goal, 3 score involvements, 2 inside 50s. Again, guy like Jordan Ngoe, a Dan Houston, a Jack Crisp, side bottom I'll touch on soon. And then there's youngsters. Lockie Schultz, not a youngster, but another example there. You expect more from these sort of players. Jordan Ngoe just, couldn't fire many shots in this game. He just scraped through that goal in the final quarter, but you'd expect more. And these sort of players, again, Ngoe, Crisp, Houston, if they fired in this game or 5 or 10 more disposals or something extra, we probably win this game. And still side bottom, ends his career, 375 AFL games, 8 disposals, 5 marks for this game. The first mark of the game as well. Ends the game on the bench. Just, was he best 23 towards the end? I mean, technically he was, but was he really in our best 23 at the end of the season? It is what it is. Just from my eyes, I just think he wasn't up to it, but a tremendous career for Steel side bottom, the second most AFL games played for Collingwood, 375 games, 2-time premiership player. He's a Collingwood legend. I thank him for it. Thank you, Side Bum, for the memories, but it is time to move on. Side bottom retires, Pendlebury off to the Gold Coast. What we do in the off season, I think, will shape the next 3 to 5 years. So it's over to you, Justin Leppage. What are you going to do about it? Guys, that is all for this video. Thank you guys so much for your support this year, for the previews, the reviews, the team selections, final word. I will have a channel update posted tomorrow. I'll have a video up tomorrow. I'll also have a video up later today. There's the VFLW today. Collingwood taking on Williamstown. First v third. Collingwood has to win to get into the top 2 or show that their premiership credentials are there. Collingwood takes on Hawthorn AFLW Sunday afternoon, 3:05 p.m. Victoria Park. So there is Collingwood action on this weekend. Hopefully we see a Collingwood win of any sorts for us. 0 for 3 last week. Hopefully we get a win this week. A draw is unacceptable, in my opinion. But yeah, thank you guys again for your support this year. I appreciate it. 1,000+ subscribers. I'll make a separate video at some point, just getting to know me a little bit more. But yeah, waffling on yet again. I'll leave you guys all to it. I hope you guys have a good weekend. Please be well. Please be safe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Up the pies.